Greetings, magnificent souls, to the Attract Health, Build Wealth podcast, where we have open and honest discussions about ourselves. This is a place where we break down, break away, and break through codependency, allowing ourselves to attract health, build wealth, and live a peaceful life. We are tired of being sick and tired. We are tired, but we are not giving up. We know that there is something magnificent inside of us. And because we are fighting daily, hourly, and by the minute, fighting ourselves, our kids, our spouses, we have to do things differently. We have to break the cycle. We have to find a way. We don't have a million chances. We have to be happy now. So how do we do that? How is that possible? If you look around at what society is telling you, they tell you that what we're doing is impossible, yet it's happening every single day. And it's happening through the practice and the love that we call awakening the magnificent soul. We are all magnificent souls, and these are our stories of healing. Today, in episode 31, an epiphany that I had recently that has completely transformed my way of thinking. But before we get into the discussion, don't forget to let me know your thoughts about this episode, any feedback you have, or anything you'd like me to cover on future podcasts at epiphanyvault.com. Remember, you can share anonymously. It is a safe place, and I would welcome the discussion. So I come to you today after almost 2 weeks from my last podcast because I received a lightning strike, I guess, from the universe in the form of an epiphany, and it's taken me this long to process it. Although I definitely received this motivation to talk about it for sure, it has been such a monumental paradigm shift for me that I needed to ingest it. I needed to write about it and talk about it to my closest friends and confidants. So here's the backstory. I had been conversing with a male friend of mine that turned in a little bit of a romantic direction. That's not really what I want to talk about and focus on today, but as we were texting back and forth, as the conversation started to wane, I sent out a self-defeating text that said, quote, "I'll always be single, I guess." So he did not respond. And in the absence of his response, that gave me time to go back and think about why I sent such a self-defeating text. I really, at my core, really don't feel that way. I know that I'm a great, loving, and kind person. I know this in my heart. I really do. But why then do I do this? Mind you, this is just a specific example, but as I've become aware of these actions, I've noticed that I do this in other life circumstances as well. My first thought was I did this to get him to respond to me in a positive sense. Like I wanted him to say, "Gosh, no," or "You're beautiful," or "Don't say that," or something to that effect. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting really real here, but that's the sincere truth. I was trying to lure him into saying something positive. But why? Damn it, why? So here's what I did. Instead of waiting for him to answer, I apologized to him for sending such a negative text about myself. And I told him sincerely that I was trying to get him to say something nice about me. And this kind, humble man hit me with this phrase. He said, "You don't need me to validate you. You don't need me to validate you. You don't need me to validate you. You don't need me to validate you." And again, you don't need me to validate you. He said that once, but for me, waves of emotion crashed on me, like a warm and vibrant light that I can't even describe engulfed me. And if you're listening, I'm not even sure if you can feel what I'm feeling right now because I'm getting teared up even talking about it. But what he said hit me like a ton of bricks. And truth, in my head, I know this. I know this. I really do. In my mind, I know that I don't need anything or need anyone to validate me. I know that you, magnificent soul, if you've been doing the work, you know this too. But for me, coming from a man whom I have an immense amount of trust in and whom could have not empathized with me and my feelings, this was the truth. It was the freaking truth. No one ever in my life had said that to me. And that has been a turning point for me. What I'm realizing is that this epiphany is the next step of awakening for me. That was when the truth in my head moved from my head to my bones and to my heart. I feel this truth deeply. I don't need anything or anyone to validate me. And man, think about it. Social media, relationships, appearance, job, sex, things I do, goals I have, how loud I laugh, how much I flirt, texting, expectations. You guys, it goes on and on and on and on. It's crazy. So for the past few weeks, I have been intently honing in on validation, as you can probably tell in my life. I have essentially been through a 2-week boot camp of awareness and reflection, awareness and reflection, awareness and reflection, awareness and reflection. And during this time, I have not been perfect, but I can tell you is that I have been detoxing from validation. I can honestly say it's like a drug. The excitement, the buildup, the supply, and then the letdown. And why the letdown? And here's the moral, I think. The letdown comes from seeking validation from someone or something to fill you up with something that you think you are lacking, something that you think that you don't have. Love, attention, acclaim. The validation drug is the realest as it gets, and it's a beast. The letdown comes from trying to validate your true you with outside sources when really you have it in you. I'm telling you, I knew this. I know now, like I know with every cell of my being. I feel it. It's like a sweet ache in my bones. And y'all, I'm at peace. Seeking validation is exhausting. How do you feel about this? I can tell you, for me, going forward, I know that I will have slip-ups. I know that I've been conditioned to seek validation almost my whole life. And you probably out there are like that as well. I know that seeking validation was an element in my codependency. But I also know that if I remain vigilant and aware, and if I truly work the awakening program, when I'm feeling off, when I'm feeling untrue to myself, I have just opened up heaven on earth for me. Honestly, this has been the most vulnerable I have ever been on here, but I hope this helps you, magnificent souls. Until next time, living and loving.